All right. Cool. Cool. Hibbity jibbity flibbity dibbity. Here we be. They done fucked up. They done fucked up and let Paul's ego move into his house. They done fucked up now. What up, Zeke? My dude, Zeke. Amelia and I spent all of Christmas in a Motel 6. It's kind of a shame. I wanted to do this a little earlier, but I crashed, bro. We did a lot of bullshit today. Hello, thanks. How am I doing tonight? Really good, thanks. Thanks for asking. Yeah. I'm gonna give you guys, like, a little look once everybody's here. I could tell by the orange walls. Yeah, dude. What other place has fucking orange walls, bro? You know what I mean? What other place would ever do it? Except Motel 6. That was some bomb-ass sleep being in the new house with your bed. But wait, I'll tell you, there's more. I'm not in my bed. Well, I guess technically it is. So, Amelia and I, stymied with having to stay in a fucking Motel 6 because there's literally nothing in this nice house that we have. Got sick of it and decided we're fucking moving in tomorrow no matter what. So we went to Walmart today and spent way more money than I wanted to. I mean, it wasn't like a mint or anything, but it was just like a bunch of shit that I didn't want to have to buy. Got a table, got some chairs, a coffee maker, a bed, got one of those little boxed beds, you know what I mean? That like, you know what I mean? You pull it out of the plastic and it'll like inflates. Memory foam or whatever you want to fucking call it, right? Got that. What else do we got? Just some like very basic kitchen stuff. We got a pot. We got some paper plates, a big stack of them. Got a couple of cups. And we're moved in, dude. What is in the house? Paper plates. 2 cups like this. A card table that's about half the size as my old table because it was the cheapest one. 2 chairs and a mattress on the floor. Ultimate minimalism. Nothing like camping the first night in a new home. Yeah. Home sweet home welcome mat. No, we did get welcome mats though. Where I live, you gotta have the mats. Because if you go outside, your feet are probably gonna get fucked up. You gonna refund all that stuff when the things arrive? I know I would. Well, here's the thing. Here's how we justify it, right? Or how I justified it. One of the things that we did not have at my old house, because we just didn't have room for it, was a guest room, right? So if somebody wanted to come and stay at Paul's Ego's house, they were pretty much shit out of luck. Now, we've got a guest bed in a guest room, right? We set it up in a room, in the room that we want to use for guests. It's on the floor right now, but hey. So once our stuff comes, we keep that other bed because it's our guest bed, right? And that's that. That's it. You like loud cars? I like loud American muscle. Like I like naturally aspirated V8 kind of loud cars. Be there in 30. Dude, you've got the open invitation always, Zeke. You ever doing any traveling, and we're keeping on the DL where Paul Zigo is, but if you're ever you're ever doing any traveling, you know where I'm at. How's the new crib? Really fucking nice, bro. Really nice. I don't know how much you guys are going to be able to see, but look at this. Let me see if I can flip this around. Nothing. But all of this out here is just like dude, I live in a rainforest, bro. This is all mine. They're like, I know you can't see shit, but they're like 720-foot pine trees back here that are all mine. I've got this huge deck. You see it? I'm on the second floor of the house. There's a deck right below this that comes out of what will be my office. So this is the deck that comes out of like the family room, right? The main deck. Down below this is a deck that comes off of my like basement room or whatever the fuck. So pretty dope. Pretty dope. You like my flannel? I like my flannel too. I like my flannel too. This was a Christmas present flannel. This was my favorite Christmas present this year. Well, that and getting to move out of the fucking sweltering hot Central Valley of California. It's a split level, yeah. Yeah, so you walk in the front door, right? And there's stairs going down and stairs going up. You go up the stairs, you're up where I'm at now, in like the family room area, right? Well, the family room slash, main level of the house. Kitchen's right there. Living room's right there, right? And then you go, if you were to walk in to the front door and go down, the whole bottom floor of the house is like this kind of like semi-basement, I guess. It's hard to explain. If you've never, because I've never lived in a place like this. It's not all the way underground like a basement. It's half underground, right? So there are windows up towards the top, that you can see out right onto the ground. You know what I mean? And it's fucking perfect. It's a huge shooting area. Especially considering where I was shooting before. Absolutely massive in comparison to that. So, that's really nice. Just based on the trees alone, or around Eureka or Arcata, yep, you got me. You nailed me. Everybody's always right when they guess where I'm at. Yep, I'm in Arcata. You nailed me, bro. Pass you a cig, pass you the blunt. Nope. Best thing of all, when my shit finally does get delivered, Paul Zigo got a fire pit. Well, Paul Zigo's had a fire pit. Those of you that have been watching a long time remember Paul Zigo's special fire pit. Well, now Paul Zigo has a backyard in which he can use his fire pit. You guys hear? I didn't want to tell you guys what you're hearing. Maybe I will. Do you guys hear a little wind? It's very faint, but guess what I can fucking hear, dude? The ocean. That's a sound that you only get with a large body of water. Trying to throw us off? Nope. I am a hop, skip, and a jump from the ocean. I smell it in the air. It smells like pine trees and salt water. I reached out to the mill rights coordinator, Florence, Alabama, Carpenters Union Training Center, and they emailed me back with a number to call. Such a good feeling. Cool. Neat. So, Phoebes, if I may ask, what happened to the military plans? Did those kind of get like, if so, good? No judgment. Did it, Zeke? Did it? Crescent City. Yep. You nailed me. I'm in Crescent City. No, I'll be honest with you. That's the one place I'll tell you I'm not. I wanted to be in Crescent City. I really did. That was the first place we really looked hard at moving. But fuck that town. There's something wrong with that town. It's beautiful there, and I think I would have been perfectly happy there. But that town is fucked up. Kind of figure Trump is going to reinstitute the trans ban. Well, Trump made, Phoebes. I don't know if you paid attention, but did you see what our wonderful Joe Biden did? Did you see our wonderful Joe Biden sign into law the first federal anti-trans bill or anti-LGBTQ bill in, I think it's 2 decades? Yeah. It's an anti-LGBT. It's aimed at mostly trans people. Let me get you that. Yep. There, I'll give you a little read. President Joe Biden signs into law first federal anti-LGBTQ plus bill in decades. Joe Biden signed an almost $900 billion defense bill, even though the bill contained a provision containing restrictions on gender-affirming care for trans youth. The National Defense Authorization Act passed both the House and the Senate in recent weeks after months of negotiating between the Democrats and Republicans. One issue in the bill was a measure to ban the military's insurance TRICARE from covering, so they already did it. Military insurance TRICARE from covering gender-affirming care treatment. So you don't have to wait for Trump because Biden did it for him. Trans ban implicitly back in the military because you don't get your meds anymore. So think about this shit. All of that talk about how Trump is gonna, if we don't vote for the Democrat, Trump is gonna. Trump didn't have to. Biden passed the first federal anti-LGBTQ plus law in a decade. Need I fucking say more? Congratulations. Yep, and during his literal last gasps, not in just office, in life, Phoebes, that motherfucker is dead in 5 years. barely there, demented as fuck, putting his rubber stamp on that shit. So after all of that, the Nazis are coming, the fascists are coming. Joe Biden went ahead and did it anyway. Kicked the door wide open for this Republican Congress to continue passing restrictive laws. Undid any progress we had getting people medical care through the military and equalizing the military for trans people. Gone. Gone in a puff of smoke, and it didn't take Donald Trump to do it. Now all the fucking rhetoric is all lol JK. Oh, I know. It's a nightmare, right? He probably didn't even know what he was signing. How would we know that? Yeah. How do we have any assurances that Joe Biden is even awake when he signs shit like this? You tell me. Yeah, you tell me. I feel like he was very aware. You're probably right, because Joe Biden's an arch Catholic. So, no big fan of trans people or abortion or pretty much any civil right that's been gained since the 60s. So there you go. Saw that the other day while languishing in a Motel 6. Got me all worked up. Man, I gotta tell you, it's fucking cold. It's godforsaken fucking cold. It's all worth it. Bet you'll be glad for that fire pit. Yes. It's actually another thing I want to look into. Well, right over here, right over my shoulder on this level. Once like when I'm doing a show out here with the fucking sun up one day, I'll walk you guys around and show you the backyard because it's fucking insane. But got a woodshed right here. What's the temp? Let me take a look, Mr. Naughty Priest. What is the temp? It's fucking cold. That's what I think the temp is. It says right now that it's 46. 46. Cold enough for me. Okay, let's put it that way. Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. But yes, I'm going to be glad for that fire pit. And there is a wood-burning stove on the bottom floor in my office. So, that's pretty cool. It's 33 for me. That's sweatshirt weather. Hey, I'm just in a flannel, man. I'm just in a flannel. What you know about that? Propane? Nope. I know. I like this flannel. Definitely gonna make use of this flannel. I have been in this city for just over a week now. And of the 7 days that I have been here, it has rained all 7. What do you know about that? What do you think about all that? It's rain with a chance of rain. But that's okay because I looked at next week. Rain. Do I like this kind of weather? This is the kind of weather that feeds me. Oh, if you're in the PNW, you know all about it, yeah. Well, I lived up there in Bellevue, and I remember pretty much like 250 days of rain a year. So I live in a similar climb, I guess, and it's gonna be rain. It's gonna be rain. It's gonna be sleet. It's gonna be cold. Different strokes. I get sick of rain after the week. Oh man, yeah. No, it just it feeds me. I love inclement weather. Makes me feel well. It just I mean it feeds into my natural tendencies to be kind of a hermit. Makes my home feel more cozy. No, I've just been like my allergies have done a complete 180 in a week. Like I still have I'm still a little stuffy, still coughing a little bit here and there, the post-nasal drip stuff, but it is like 80% better just after a week. Are you in a reasonable distance from the coast like you wanted? Shh, hold on, listen. Does that answer your question? As soon as one leaves the valley, breathing is no longer labored, bro. And I'm telling you, man, Zeke, and you know better than anybody in here what I'm talking about. I have been begging my mother to sell her house, buy a nice big RV with her husband, and retire somewhere up in the fucking foothills by Hensley or something, just to get their heads above the fucking smog. Because those two old people have a cough. Every time I call my mom, she's got a cough. Every time. She does not smoke, never smoked a day in her life. Every time I call that woman, she's got a cough. And it's pretty much the same for me. Every time I called her, I had a cough. But, they're getting up there now. My mom's pushing 70. Stepdad's 65. My dad turns 70 in just a few days. Getting old, man. I'm getting pretty fucking old. I've been begging them, man. Was, you know, they have a old they have a nice house. You know, it's the house that my mom ended up getting after the divorce, after we moved out of the country. So it's, you know, it's over in Madtown. It's a nice house, but it's too much house for them. They don't have kids anymore. It's all, you know, they're just old, and they would make a mint selling that house. That house is like doubled, tripled maybe in value compared to what my mom paid for it. So they could probably very easily sell that place and just retire on that money. There's another noise you guys won't have to get. It'll be a pretty close to the same. Military jets and helicopters. No more leaf blowers. Bro, no more leaves. How do you get away from leaf blowers? You get away from leaves. There's no such thing as a leaf where I'm at. My parents are paid off in a huge estate in Old Fig. They can move anywhere. They just stay. Yep. My parents, the same thing, bro. My sister and brother-in-law have got 7 children. They live in the valley, and so my mom will never leave. Even if it's to go somewhere like fucking Hensley or Millerton or fucking, you know, Dinky or something up in the fucking foothills or up in the mountains a little bit. It'd be fucking, you know how far those things are from fucking Madtown? At max, if they were up at Dinky, it's a fucking hour to get back into town. Right? They don't even go up that far. They just go up in the foothills just to get above the smog and the bullshit. It's like fucking 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get into town. They won't do it. Dude, they could sell the house they have in town and buy a beautiful, smaller house that would be way easier for them to take care of up in the mountains somewhere. And they'd still be within a 1-hour striking distance of all their grandbabies. But good luck fucking convincing them of that, so. All evergreen, yep. Don't you think moving is hard at that age? Yeah, if you're doing it alone. My parents wouldn't be doing it alone. But yes, it would be hard. And I can understand why they don't do it. But it just would be so good for them if they could get out of that fucking smoky bullshit. But anyway, I'm just stoked, man. I can't tell you guys how fucking stoked I am to be here. My backyard, like, for me, from my perspective, being the type of person that I am, it's like a temple back there. It really is. It's like a grotto. It's like a nature temple. This is like so what I need. Can I see the ocean? No, I do not have an ocean view, but I am less than 2 miles from the ocean. can hear the ocean. Hear the wind whipping off of the ocean. Could you grow things on it? Maybe. So you can basically go swimming if you'd like. I mean, basically. Maybe if I get a wetsuit. How are there no leaves? I live in an area that's like 95% coniferous. Do you know if you can go fishing anywhere nearby? Yes. I can do fishing. I can do crabbing. I can do lobster fishing. I can do deep sea fishing. Yes. I live in a rural area that is kind of a sportsman's paradise kind of place. So, absolutely. And I will be going fishing as well. I've already got some plans to fish it up a little bit. Just got here, still on West Coast. Yes and no. Do you plan to? Yes. We going fishing. Amelia wants to go. She's never gotten to go fishing. I haven't been fishing in over 25 years. Time to drop a hook in the fucking water. If you are where I think you are, you get some sea urchins and harvest some uni. Ooh, uni. Uni. Paul lives everywhere and nowhere. I am everywhere and nowhere, yeah. I'm Schrodinger's Paul. I'm both living in and not living in every place on the planet. You guys will be able to pin down my general region with context clues from these streams, I'm sure. You'll be able to pinpoint time of day, probably, or at least extrapolate time. Although it might be kind of hard for you guys because this house, this backyard part where you guys are going to be seeing, is literally enshrouded with shade trees. Well, big giant pine trees, overhung. I mean, overgrown, overhanging pine. If Reddit was a person. Oh my god, bro. Man, you just cut to the bone with that one, man. All the way, you laid me wide open with that one. You got bears? I mean, where there are pine trees, you know? Where there are pine forests, there are bears. These people are retarded. The insult game has gotten so bad. I know. Just so lazy. Like, I'm all down for the insult game, but it's so lazy. It's gotten so sad and lazy. Maine is the pine tree state. We got loads of bears. Yes, we do. I mean, yes, you do. Dun, 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 dun. Don't want to get to know you for half a fucking second before they levy an insult. I mean, I don't really care about that. I understand skibbity scrolling. You see a weird looking guy like me, you go like, "Whoa, fat and stupid," and then you move on. You know, I get it. I just wish it was like there were smart people doing it. Do you need to use a ferry at any point? Yes and no. Yes and no, Delbert. I both live in a place that is filled with fairies and doesn't have a fairy nearby. I'm Schrodinger's Paul, okay? You need to understand that. Mr. Grady. By the way, Mr. Grady, I regret to inform you that early this morning, under cover of darkness, I moved out of your hotel. You are now the caretaker, Mr. Grady. I wish giant ground sloths were still around in the U.S. and South American wildlife. Oh, yeah. Dude, can you imagine having a pet giant ground sloth? He attack, but he also protect. You see what I mean? He could go and hold you, or he could go and defend you, you know? Too damn good. We figured. We knew you never had the belly for it. Oh, Mr. Grady. Mr. Grady, you're barking up the wrong tree. What's something you learned recently that changed the way you think about life? I learned about the Tao. Yeah, I became a Taoist about a year ago. Well, maybe a little less than a year ago with the Taoist. I started. That was a spiritual kind of journey a year and a half ago or so, and landed being Taoism. So I learned about the Tao. It has completely changed the way that I look at the world. Yeah. And has been immensely helpful to me. Coos Bay, you nailed me. You got me. How so? Well, okay, so let me just, I'll give you a little story to maybe illustrate it, right? So I just recently moved a very long distance, and it's been a very stressful move. I recently, just today, was able to kind of pseudo move into my house here, although we have really nothing to do, like to sit on or anything in there, other than a couple of folding chairs. We got moved in, which is great. 10 years ago, prior to me discovering the Tao, I would have catastrophized and raged and been verbally and just verbally over the top abusive to people, not my wife, but like, you know, people in the service industry that kind of fucked me over. It's a moving company that has fucked us and left us here for over a week without our shit. And you know, it's one little microcosm of an example. But part of the Tao is remaining at the center of the circle, allowing for these things and allowing them to happen and pass, right? Seems like such a simple thing, but for me, it's changed everything. Oh, it would have been worse than IKEA. Like, this is like, I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you. This is way worse than the IKEA situation. Way worse. IKEA sucked, but I only waited a couple of days for that fucking couch. I had to crash at TJ's house for a couple of extra nights. That was really what it came down to. This has been a week with nothing from my household, right? Living in a Motel 6. I spent Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in a motel. Okay? You know, like when it comes to companies fucking me over, this is the most royal fucking I've gotten in a couple decades. But that goes to show you, right? Like, didn't catastrophize, made it through, did what we had to do, and here we are at the other end, right? Using the Quiznos you stopped at, your pine trees, and your mutton chops, I have triangulated your location. Okay. Well, tell me where I'm at. You are a botanist, so, you might have seen something in that pine tree I showed you earlier. You might have got me. Like I said, it's eventually going to be pretty well known, at least the area that I'm in. I have no doubt of that. Using the Quiznos, oh yeah. Paul is over there. Yes, I'm over there. Hello. Oh, baby.
I got me voice fed.
Oh, thank you. Did they wake you?
No, I just realized they were hungry munchkins when I got out.
You gotta go potty, D? Go on and go down here. You know how to get down. You know how to go down there and go potty. Go on, do it. I know it's dark. Go where you can see. Baby. Cup of squat. I found a use for our Mr. Coffee that isn't coffee.
Yeah.
Using it to prop up the phone. Oh boy. Okie dokie. I'll believe it when I see it, but whatever. How are D and Cricket liking the new place? They're both a little bit overwhelmed, I think. I mean, they've had to move around quite a bit. We did 3 hotels on the trip here, or 4, close to it. And they've been in a little hotel room. And now they're in this big house that they've never been in before. Cricket's just now kind of starting to be exploratory, I guess you would say. Like, he's right here. Look, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys a little bit of Cricket. Look at this crick hat. Look at him being a crick. Oh, you just gotta... Where you going, Cricket? I want to show the people. There you is. There's that Cricket. Yes. Hello. So cute. Can you tell us more about the Tao? The great Tao is mysterious. And in contemplation of it, I remain at the center. The Tao is concentrated Wu Wei. Wu Wei is a Chinese term and roughly means conscious inaction. It is the source of, it's a universal source in traditional Taoist belief, but not a personified one. So it is not a god, it's not worshipped as a god directly, it's contemplated as a great mystery. A motive force in the universe, right? It is unbridled and incessant creativity and destruction, right? And so that is what I tell myself a lot when I'm meditating. I will say to myself, the Tao is mysterious. And in contemplation of the Tao, I find peace at the center of the circle. How much for a card reading? I do have a tarot deck. I did learn to read tarot back in high school, and I'm really good at it. But I'm not a true spiritualist believer or whatever when it comes to that shit. But yeah, my tarot deck is on a truck somewhere. Where's a good place to start with the Tao? Find yourself just a good translation of the Tao Te Ching. That is the source of the Tao, written by the eponymous Lao Tzu. Could you tell me the name of the driving watch that's on your list to buy? Driving watch? The only driving watch that I have even looked at this year is the Zarek inverter. And it'll be a while before I buy another Zarek. I do want to eventually have 2 or 3 Zareks, but they're more expensive than I like to. They cost almost twice what I like to pay for a watch, so it's just one of them things.
I forgot to tell you, I let Cricket down in that room downstairs, and he liked sniffing around there.
Oh boy, Cricket's getting the full tour now.
He's having no problem with the stairs. He's going up and down.
Yeah, I told you he was gonna love them stairs. He's gonna be up and down them stairs constantly. What do you think, D? Is that gonna be your spot, watching right there at the stairs, making sure nobody comes walking up? I gotta tell you, D, if somebody comes walking up those stairs, you get them, because I'm gonna get them too. We'll get them together. I'm tackling them motherfuckers right down them stairs.
Yeah, I'd put him in the bathroom because that door for his room doesn't close.
Oh yeah.
I have to get a new strike plate for it, I think.
Yeah.
To do it.
I'll figure it out. Now we know, though. At least that wasn't a bigger caper than it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But tomorrow we'll have to. I'm thinking, if that we take delivery tomorrow,
We'll just keep him in the bathroom.
Well, I'm thinking we put him in his carrier and put both these boys in the car.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no question as to where they are, or because these guys, the moving dudes, are gonna be in and out of here. 2 doors wide open all day. It's just like, and they're going to be coming into this and using the bathroom net. And no, I say, right when they pull up, we'll just scoop his little butt up, put him in the carrier, load him up into the car. I'm just going to pull the car out of the garage, park it on the street, so they've got the whole staging area. Yeah. Because I'm thinking they're probably going to want to bring boxes and stuff in through that ground floor and through the garage. And yeah, I'm just thinking that, like, we have them stack most of the boxes here in this living room, rather than trying, because we're not going to be able to point to every box and go, that goes here, that goes there. Just have them stack them there. That'll be a good staging area for us. And then what I will pick out is any stuff that doesn't need to be brought up.
Yeah.
So my computer boxes, anything that I'm going to keep down there, I'm going to try and catch them.
Yeah. Just anything that says office, basically.
Anything that says office, and especially the desk, the chair. I don't want any of that to have to be taken down those fucking stairs. Yeah.
It'd be quite a hill for them to park up.
Yeah, they're gonna have fun with that shit, I'm sure. But we'll get our car up out of the way. It's crazy. The jewelry on the Sopranos was all real. Some of their watches. Oh yeah. Well, now that I'm more into watches, I want to watch the Sopranos, because I'll probably be able to pick out a lot of those watches. Sounds like you got a dope little 2-story. It's not a 2-story technically. It's a split level. So technically not a 2-story. Although, well, I don't know. Is it classified as a 2-story?
Well, because with split levels, it's half flights rather than full flights.
Right, so it isn't then. It's 1 floor sandwiched into 2. or something. I don't know how it works. How do I deal with getting doxxed and threat texts? Report the person doxing you to whatever company they're doxing you on. Like, depending on, like, I don't know, man. I get a lot of threats. Like, I got a death threat, when was it? On Christmas Eve. On Twitter. I had somebody fucking threaten my life. Said, when people like Paul's ego get gunned down, the world will be a better place. Lamau.
You didn't tell me about that.
I don't tell you about it because it's not
It's nothing.
right. And they were talking about they were pissed off because I was talking about Mangione. I made a tweet about Luigi. And I guess it's if I'm okay with Luigi killing a CEO, then it's okay to threaten me with that, right? Is the implication. But that sort of thing is like, unfortunately, ubiquitous if you're going to do anything in the online space. And I mean anything. I can guarantee you Mr. Beast's apolitical ass gets tons of death threats. Right? So, you have to understand that, like, certain threats are credible and certain threats are not. There are a lot of people out there that are just talking fucking trash, bro. And the amount of people among those people who are motivated enough to track you down and show up at your house, slim to none, right? Doxing is illegal in the EU. I mean, it needs to be functionally illegal here too, but it needs to be legally defined, right? It needs to have a firm definition. There are some people that think certain things are doxing that are not doxing.
Like, you think just a full name isn't?
If you have a publicly available profile where people can search your name, right, and or find your name or what state you live in, and then somebody uses that in an argument, they didn't just dox you. Doxing, and this is going way back to the etymology of the term. When it first started getting used, doxing, it was like your real name, if you're functionally anonymous online, is doxing. So we used to call it power word real name, because it would stop an argument if you could get that on somebody who was trying to be anonymous. So if you are functionally anonymous in the online space, don't have a public profile that's linked to your shit that people can easily find you on, then your real name can be a dox. Nowadays, it's more about your address, which, to be quite honest with you, is pretty easy to find for anybody with $5 and 15 minutes.
And the full name.
Right, and your full name. So, but yeah, doxing is revealing any kind of identifying information about a person in spite of their attempts to be anonymous or to remain functionally anonymous. You can't find house addresses by IP address. I know that. Dinor's right here, babe. He's just sitting at the top of the stairs. That's his spot now. That's his watchdog spot. So how exactly did this move? I'm not going to talk. I've decided I am not going to catastrophize and make a big, giant, fucking explosive story out of this. I'll be honest with you, it's not all that interesting. It's not like some Machiavellian web of deceit and deception. It's just like dog shit. Just like a company that doesn't give a fuck, and us at the mercy of that company, basically. Because what are you gonna do when your shit's on a truck? What are you gonna do in a different state? What are you gonna do? So that's there you go. That's the summary of it. It's basically just a shit company that is one of those companies that'll kick you around to 8 different people before you talk to the person you need to talk to. And then even once you get that person, you don't get a straight fucking answer out of them until the fucking last second. Anyway, see, this is why I'm not going to do it. Because it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off.
Maybe in a few months or something.
Maybe. I just don't need it. You know what? Ultimately, we made it. Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. I don't blame you. Moving is always complete ass. Yes. That is true. You talked with Geegan Veins recently. He chilled now. Yeah, I talked with him 6 months ago or something. Didn't go too well. But I was the one that was not chill, not him. I don't know. He's always been oddly like, ma 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 ma. Ma 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 ma.
You just hit an impassable fucking
I don't suffer
thing.
fools.
Yeah.
When somebody's, personal worldview is so logically inconsistent and glaringly so, and they're not willing to make a connection between really connected concepts, there's no point in moving any further. You're not talking to a person who's going to go anywhere but, away from the truth. I don't really necessarily have a problem with Geegan Veins. It was just a waste of my time. You know what I mean? I don't like my time wasted. I don't suffer fools. I don't really have an extra 10 minutes a day to talk to a dumb fuck. I'm not saying he's all the time a dumb fuck, but in that arena that we were talking, it just wasn't going to go anywhere. It wasn't going to connect up. It wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? It wasn't worth my time. You should debeat vegan gains on trans. Oh, he's an anti-trans guy. I'm a pro-trans person, so you know what I mean.
But he brings up chickens again.
Yeah, if we take it to the chickens, if we take it to the mattresses on the chickens again, it's just not going to be good. Oh, he's pro-trans. Okay, well there you go.
Well, why would you debate it?
Yeah, then we got nothing to debate. We're good. Poking his head out. That's your yard, D.
Maybe we should turn on the shed light.
That's your yard. That is your yard. Yes, it's all yours. You watch it. You protect. You poop in it, and only you. Maybe
I did see a squirrel earlier.
Oh, don't say that. That's a 4-letter word around here. Squirrel. We don't like a squirrel. We don't want a squirrel. We don't abide no squirrels around here. We don't abide no squirrels around here, boy. Do you like the progressive Pope Francis? No. I don't like any Catholic bullshit. I think the Catholic Church is an insanely vampiric, gaudy, ostentatious piece of garbage that has so much of the world's great art locked up behind doors where nobody ever gets to fucking see it. Fuck that church. Fuck its cover-ups and its fucking bullshit. And fuck the Pope, basically. How's that?
Yeah, the fact that he's treated as a world leader is retarded.
It's insane. I don't want to go through the whole fucking Geegan Veins list of crazy shit he's done, okay? I've done crazy shit too. Let's be fucking real. I'm not gonna, point my finger at Geegan Veins morally and go back through his internet history and judge every goddamn fucking thing. I just don't care enough. They're also running out of money and whining about it. Yeah.
I don't have anything against Catholics in general, usually, but the whole institution that they're.
Oh yeah, it's a disgusting, ancient, backwards institution that just like straight out protects and legitimizes predators. Fuck them. Go on. My toes was freezing. I had to put on some shoes. Oh, is this the new place? Yes. Yes. Finally.
I might even show them the downstairs deck one of these days.
I think I may end up streaming more from down there than up here.
Yeah.
Just simply because it's right off of my office. And it's a little more separated from you as well. Like, well, not from you, but just from the top of the house, so that you have a place to go where you could escape my rantings and my ravings. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which one ends up. Now, I want to be here when it's having a good downpour, because I want to see how much
How wet
it gets down there versus up here. So this has got a really nice, and you can tell it's new, covered porch.
Yeah.
And that down there is only covered by this, which is very cracky. So we'll see.
I mean, if you line it up directly, then
Yeah, it shouldn't get super wet down there, but it might get wetter than it does up here. So it might make more sense for me to stream from out here. I'm not sure yet. For now, this is where it's at.
I'm gonna get a drink. I assume you don't want one.
No, I do not. Thank you, though. I assume you have heard of them. I don't know what you're talking about, but genetically modified skeptic or Alex O'Connor. I have not. Doesn't ring a bell, but I've probably seen something by them if they're relatively popular in that space. Probably seen one thing or another by them. La 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 la.
On this side. There we go.
Are you warm enough?
Yes.
Remember, we got that extra coat.
Yes.
The big coat.
Oh, look what he wants.
Some lap time. Some lap time. How high up is your deck, if you had to guess? I'd say if I were to take the plunge straight off of this, it's probably 15 feet. Maybe closer to 20. 15 or 20 feet. Yeah.
What's that? Hear it?
Just a dog, maybe? Or is it a bird? Bet there's some big owls in these woods.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, that is a bird or something. That's an owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got different birds over this way. But that's definitely an owl. Out in these pine trees late at night. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
You just gotta watch your little butt. Make sure there's no coyotes.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think there's going to be many coyotes, but I do know that there's going to be a black bear or two. Maybe not in our backyard, but in the area. And it just comes with pine forests. Owls are rad, yes. Make sure Dinor is safe from owls. I don't think he's small enough that they're going to try and pick him up. We lived out in the country when we first moved back to Cali, in a place that was really heavily hunted by predatory hawks. And they never went after him. And those are birds that have got claws that are commensurate with a big barn owl.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an owl that follows me sometimes when I travel a specific trail on my quad. Yeah, they're very curious birds, and they're territorial as well. They don't like to be spotted, usually, unless they're on the wing. Well, we've got a place to hang a little bird feeder, so we'll see what kind of little birdies we can get over this way. I've seen some little peepers around, some little finches or something, little ground peckers. Of course, being near the ocean, we got gulls, so that'll be a new thing. Owls, obviously. Better the feed, the better the birds. Well, I'll look into it. I'll look into like what kind of birds are in this area and what kind of feed I should get to attract them.
My grandma, like in the winter, would do suet. You know what that is? Like those fatty, like square cakes.
Oh yeah. It's just like rendered fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like green and shit.
Yeah. You have lots of rodents too, ants but no roaches. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, we're coming from an area that was covered in ants and rodents and shit. In fact, this last year was actually crazy. It was so hot during the summer that it chased away a lot of the birds that keep those populations down. So we're talking like mice, roaches, spiders, other rodent populations and stuff. So the populations of all of that exploded in the Central Valley due to just the oppressive heat that kept the birds fucking from feeding down there. Birds were up in the foothills and stuff to escape the heat. And it left, dude, we had so many black widow spiders just in the garage, in the backyard, up underneath. I remember one time I flipped Amelia's chair that she sat in every day over, and there were 3 giant egg sacs up under there. It's like, you gotta be fucking joking me. That was an outside chair, but still, you get it, right? Her porch chair. Dryness and the pollution keeps birds away because they can't, even if they can find somewhere to be by water, they can't cool themselves enough to justify the energy of flying around and existing. So they stay the fuck out. Well, you know what doesn't care that it's fucking 15, 20 degrees too hot? Spiders. That's why, you know what I mean? If you really want to know what the future of this planet probably is, assuming we don't escape it, it's insects. They are so fucking tolerant of temperature extremes and massive changes and fucking like in fact, like the world ending would be like the greatest thing in the world for a roach and a spider. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, so everything's rotting and there's tons of little hollows for me to set up and do my thing. Yeah, it's gonna be all bugs, man. All bugs.
Bugs are an ancient line.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Who that is?
You got a little friend over there, D.
Oh. Oh. Yep. Sounds like he's about your size too. Maybe a little bigger than you. Did you hear of the tick-borne virus that makes you allergic to meat and dairy? Isn't that Lyme disease or whatever?
I think it's like a variant of it or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to everyone or something.
I don't know much about it, but I know that
It's kind of fucked up with Lyme disease how so many hucksters have like latched onto it.
well, because it doesn't have like strictly any really good treatments. It's just like managing its flare-ups and stuff, but they can't cure it.
Yeah. And that breeds fucking...
That breeds hucksters.
Yeah.
This joint cream, this pill, this omega-3, this
Or even telling people they have Lyme when they probably don't.
Oh, yeah. Misdiagnosis or self-diagnosis a lot of Lyme disease. But I had a friend in high school whose mom had Lyme disease, and she was just, I mean, she was alive, but she was just debilitated, you know.
What is it, D?
Oh, I'm gonna be a crazy day, D. Crazy fucking day. Every day's a crazy day. Isn't that right, D? Seems right to me. Cricket Caper update.
What?
He has figured out how to get on top of the fridge.
Oh, boy.
And when I walked in, he was pawing at and had half open the cabinet on top of the fridge. Another hiding spot revealed.
Yeah. Yeah, he had snuck off somewhere when we went out earlier. We had to get his little beeper on his collar to find him.
We buttoned him up in a room up here, and the room's got a strike plate that needs to be replaced. And we didn't know it. And so we thought the door was closed. He pawed it open, got into the only room in the house that was open, which was the bathroom, then got in a cabinet inside the bathroom.
So he did his little do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. Turned on his jingle bells on his collar and found him in his new favorite hiding place. But I think that's about to change because he's looking into some higher. Yeah. Certified cat antics. Yeah. It's the way it is. That's why we take no chances tomorrow. Movers come to drop our stuff off tomorrow. These boys go in the car and they sit in the car the whole time until those dudes are gone and we got the whole house fucking buttoned up. Then they can come in. That'll be how we do it.
Yeah.
'Cause I can't.
You can't worry about them.
I can't be worried about them and jockeying all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, I hope they bring 2 big, strong dudes. Because getting that fucking bed in a box up them stairs was insane for me. You only have 1 cat, I have 3. Oh, Jesus, naughty priest. I can't even imagine the capers.
Well, I mean, you kind of imagine. It's kind of like the situation TJ's in.
Yeah, that is true. TJ's got the triple cat capers going on and all that craziness.
I think Scotty had 3 at one point, didn't he? Before, like, the older one.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Elephant stomps gorilla. Nope. Wrong.
Elephants are scary cats.
Yeah. Elephant tries to charge gorilla. Gorilla jump. Gorilla land on elephant's back. Gorilla tame elephant. Gorilla have elephant mount. That's how that goes. Now you got a gorilla riding an elephant. So what's what?
If humans can tame elephants, a gorilla can definitely tame an elephant.
And before you say, monkey can't ride a beast, have you seen Planet of Monkey? Planet of Monkey have gorilla riding horse, have orangutan riding horse, have chimpanzee riding horse. Okay? Monkey ride elephant. Elephant now war elephant for monkey. The 3 cat club. God, man, I don't know how you do it. I can barely keep up with the capers of 1. A cat and a dog. The two fucking dueling caperers here.
What was Dinor's worst recent caper? Got into something.
What did he do? I can't remember, but it was something. Actually about to watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
When we went to the movies, we saw a trailer for another CGI monkey movie. We're like, nope.
Yeah,
only the Planet of the whatevers.
Only Planet of Monkey, and that's it. But I will go see the next Planet of Monkey. They definitely set up Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for at least 1 sequel, and I will see the sequel. I'm an apologist for Planet of Monkey. I think it's pretty fucking good. Especially the newer ones. And, yeah. Even if you just start with Kingdom of Planet of Monkey, you don't really need to see any other. Trying to extinguish our little cigarette oven.
Just at least a little liquid in there.
That's fun. Beneath the Planet of the Apes with the nuke worshippers. Oh, yeah. Do Dino and Cricket interact much? Yeah. They
were getting pretty snugly in that hotel room.
Yep. They have like a typical brothers relationship where there's a lot of competition for affection, and they will kind of playfully fight, which is usually Dino growling and Cricket hissing and Cricket going wherever he wants and Dino forgetting it ever happened. That's usually what it escalates to.
Or Cricket trapping Dino somewhere.
That is a funny one. Sometimes we'll just hear Dino whimpering and we're like, come here, bud, what's wrong? We'll go and Cricket will be sitting in the doorway of a room with his tail going like, and Dino will be sitting in the room wanting to come out, and Cricket's like, no. But when it's nighttime and we're all cuddled up as a family, there have been at least 5 or 10 verified cuddles that have happened together as well. So it's like, you know what it
I think
is.
it's just been stacking up more and more recently.
Well, yeah, I mean, living in that hotel for a whole fucking
I mean,
week.
like even at the house before we moved, I felt like it was escalating a little.
The cuddling was there was an escalation in cuddles.
When we got rid of the couch and just had the beanbag.
Oh yeah, that is true. There was some certified cuddles going on there. How do you spell Dinor, and how did you come up with his name? Dinor is dinosaur without the S. So just write dinosaur and remove the S. And his name comes from a meme on a podcast I used to be on. I didn't name him. My ex-girlfriend named him. I didn't choose to saddle him with an ancient meme for a name. Okay.
We call him D 90% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I usually call him D. He only gets the Dinor when he's in trouble.
Or if we're talking about him.
Or if we're talking about him, yeah. But yeah, he's Dirty Dusty D from the Salty Sea, etc., 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 etc. Paul, you are like a breath of fresh air amidst all of the mind rot, easily accessible to my bored brain. Okay.
It's funny, we both have pets named by our exes.
Oh, yeah. True. Sorry, boys. You were saddled. You were saddled. It's okay. Just a dude hanging out. Yeah, I mean, that's what this is. That's what I do.
It seems like the neighbors are far enough away.
I haven't really heard anything, or, you know, I don't know. Just in comparison to that last neighborhood, this just seems like a supremely quiet place to be. And I'm here for it. I think brain rot and mind rot are two words that are very soon not going to mean anything. It's just going to mean content I disagree with. I think it already almost does.
Yeah.
Brain rot is skibbity toilet, okay? Brain rot is 12-year-old streamer, like not 12-year-old, but like dudes that are streaming for 12-year-olds. Aiden Ross is brain rot. Kai Cenat is brain rot. I Show Speed is brain rot. Dude bro brain rot, okay? That is what it means, and it needs to stay right there. Brain rot is shit that is clearly aimed at younger, like pubescent kids, and meant to just like feed their ADHD tendencies. That is brain rot, okay? People will call my stream. Oh yeah, I've seen people call this brain rot, or say that I have brain rot, and it's like, dude, this is another term that I actually like that's about to be meaningless, because like I said, the internet has a number of functions, but one of its most like undiscussed functions is ruining language. Like taking a word that has a specific meaning and basically reducing it to I disagree with this. So fascist is one of those words. Doesn't mean anything anymore.
A logical fallacy about like bringing up Hitler or something.
Yeah, it's not like an actual. It's Godwin's law. Is what it's called. Yeah,
the internet.
The longer a debate goes, the more likely Hitler will be invoked. That's basically Godwin's law. So
the Holocaust, one of the two.
Well, yeah, that's kind of bundled in with the law. Yeah, you're gonna be, because if you're discussing the Holocaust, you're discussing Hitler, right? So it's like, you know, time, like the amount of time until Hitler is mentioned in any conversation between two people that touches on politics diminishes quickly to zero as the conversation gets longer. Why does Dave Chappelle suck now? He used to be the GOAT. I think it's because he leaned into this thing that he should have leaned away from, which was this: I'm oppressed. I'm gonna say what I want. This woke shit is crazy. This wokeity woke. It's just like, man, the idea, like, and he knows this too. It's just a lazy thing for a comedian to do, to surf the puritanical wave, right? The whole idea of comedy, at least in my mind, is you are a transgressor, right? Comedians are supposed to offend people. They're supposed to make people wonder if they should be laughing or screaming in anger. You know what I mean? They're supposed to push the boundaries of what's socially acceptable. They're supposed to be a check and a balance on a puritanical kind of movement in people. You can't do that by just making your entire act, I'm a victim. I'm a victim of this wokeness.
I'm canceled.
I've been canceled. I got canceled by this and I got canceled by that. And I'm just gonna, like, what he should have done is remarked on it, but not made it central to his fucking comedy, and just moved on. And if he wanted to be offensive about it, do it, but then move on, right? He got into this, like, and then he started doing this other thing too, where it's like, I'm not really gonna do comedy up here. I'm gonna talk to y'all about things. And that was like, I mean, all right, Dave. You know what I mean? But
that generation had a lot of, like, Bill Maher, I think, fits into that too.
It's a lot of trouble accepting that the landscape has changed.
Yeah.
And that they need to adapt to it. Like, every comedian has always had to adapt. It doesn't mean you have to go along either. In fact, it means the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? George Carlin is still one of the most popular comedians that you'll hear someone mention.
Mm-hmm.
And in his time, he was constantly offending people, right? He was, but his act was never about, like, they're trying to shut me up, they're telling me this. He never mentioned his critics unless it was just derisively and to toss it away. He was shitting on his audience, and they loved him for it.
Because, yeah, you can see plenty of, like, more modern, edgy comedians that aren't acting like...
Right. It's like Lenny Bruce is another guy you can look into. He's even older, right? Like, he was one of the first comics to work what they call blue, which means cussing, talking about sexual stuff back in the 60s. And he was arrested over and over again so that he could challenge these anti-free speech laws. Got adults in a room that paid a ticket. They can't hear the word fuck. Come on. So that was the puritanical thing. And Lenny Bruce wasn't about, like, they're canceling me, they're arresting me. He was just like, I'm gonna go do my fucking act. Fuck you and fuck you. How's that? Am I under arrest? The big difference with George Carlin is that his humor is constantly punching up. No, he punched everywhere. That is absolutely not true. He punched up, he punched down, he punched left, he punched right. He punched religious, he punched atheist. He punched it all. That was his thing. Nobody was beneath his criticism. He was not above punching down while punching up, or punching up while punching down. He constantly talked about the stupidity of the average person being the reason for all of our fucking woes. That was central to his philosophy. And that's 100% punching down.
What do you see out there, Dave?
I do agree that he was really good at punching up. And a lot of his most famous bits are him punching up, right? But having watched pretty much everything Carlin ever put out that was filmed, I can say that he was not above punching down. Stupid people, he brooked no quarter with stupid people. can't recall. You can't recall a point where George Carlin railed against stupid people. Right? These are people that who are worse off than him, right? Because they're stupid. So, yeah. I mean, you're not going to catch Carlin punching down on somebody because they're poor. That wasn't his thing, right? Or punching down on somebody because of their race. That wasn't his thing. Punching down on somebody because of their socioeconomic status being lower than his, not his thing. Punching down on a moron, absolutely, constantly, forever, right? Same thing was true for my personal favorite comedian, Bill Hicks, right? Is he wrong for that? No. Nobody is wrong in comedy, right? The only thing that's wrong in comedy is to have an act that bombs every fucking time, right? And that takes care of itself. Everything else is fair play. Comedy is I've been rolling this idea around in my mind about the intersection of art and politics, and how I think that line has been obscured and blurred by debate bro culture, at least within the space that I work in. Debate broism doesn't want to hear about your feelings, your emotions, your human experience. Here is the Wikipedia article, here are the facts, blah, 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 blah. And that just doesn't speak to people. And funnily enough, I heard a quote that made me think about this the other day while sitting in the fucking Motel 6 watching cable for dead old people. It was Maya Angelou who said it's the artist's job to point the way. Right?
I think that was quiet.
Do you remember the quote?
No, I think that was like the preview or the little short film watch of the movie.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah,
it wasn't on cable.
It might have been. Yeah, you might be right. But I just remember seeing it, and it just put it in my head that, like, there's such an artlessness about debating the modern kind of political situation is so devoid of art. And it makes me want to like at the very least explore that philosophically, right? Like, what is the intersection of the art and the artist and political change? How does the artist point the way? And I think now more than ever, the principles that, and to bring it back to comedy, the principles that we're talking about right now, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of association, I think those are the three most important and most heavily under assault freedoms on the planet right now. Certainly in this country, but I think as human beings, if we lose those things, what else do we have? The ability to organize, the ability to talk and speak your mind and say what you think and say what you believe is the most precious of precious freedoms. Here's an example of I've been thinking Carlin. Here's an example of Carlin punching down while he's punching up. They don't want free thinkers. They don't want intelligent human beings that can make logical choices about their lives and interact with their public agencies with mindfulness. They want obedient workers, obedient little drones that are willing to jump, do whatever they're told and are too stupid to know any better, right? He's punching down on the whole fucking audience. Who do you think he's talking about there? They're all products of this educational system that he's describing. everybody out there in that audience, maybe save a few VIPs here and there, work blue collar, white collar jobs for the man obediently. He's punching all the way down on the audience, let alone the people watching it all these years later, right? But he's also punching up, right? Because he's pointing out that it's the educational system that has failed to mitigate this. Artlessness is everywhere now. Cinematographers and speakers are calling their art content these days. Yeah, I understand content, but yeah, I get what you mean. I just really think that there is a dearth of emotional human experience in our political discourse. And until that comes back, I don't think the average person is going to give a fuck what anybody within it has to say. So, it is the artist's job. And I'm pointing at you, Phoebes. Not you and just you, but I see you in the chat, so you got the eye of Sauron. Now I'm pointing at you. You're an artist, right? You're a singer-songwriter. You're a musician. What are you doing? Like, what radical shit are you doing? What are you writing? I want a Phoebes song. I want you to write a fucking folk song and put that shit out. I don't care if it's got shitty production value at first. You can build up to that, but like, you need to be making art, not tacos. You feel me? I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying make art. When I met you, you were living in a van, traveling these great states, doing art for a living. And I'm not saying I want you in that unstable situation again. But what I am saying is don't forget the art. Right?
You were in a position for a long time where you were balancing the art and the job.
Oh my God, I almost killed myself doing it. But I had to find a way. It was before YouTube, before I had that outlet, right? I'm not saying even this doesn't fulfill, it doesn't scratch that itch.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I had to be creating something. And the only thing I knew how to do was stage. And so it was just, I found it. I found time. I'd open that store in the morning, go home for maybe an hour and a half, get some food in me, straight to the college till 10 p.m., 11 p.m., go home, snatch 2 hours of sleep, go to work. I don't know how I fucking did it, but I did it for 6 months. I did back to back to back to back shows. It was like a comedy of errors. So I did one show, I did Anna in the Tropics. Had a long run because it was a great show. They extended it because a lot of people wanted to see it. Boom. Then I was cast at great protest, but the fucking, like when the director comes to you and goes, I need you to try out for, I'm doing, and he's going, it's my play. I'm the author, I'm the playwright. I'm not going to be directing. Brad Myers is directing from Fresno State. I was just like, fuck, I can't. What am I going to say? Like, no. So they had an idea where they wanted me in that play, and that play was just wild, man. The most avant-garde theater I've ever done. And that play did really well in its original run, and at the end of that, I was like, you know what I mean? I'm done. I told everybody, I was like, it's been good, couple years off, okay? I gotta fucking recharge the batteries or something. And the day of the last run, we're doing our after party. And Chuck Irvin, my director and the playwright that did the show, Canyon Suite was the name of the show. He goes, great news. Irene Ryan was in the audience. And Irene Ryan is a scholarship that gets college productions and takes them on basically to like a big competition in Oregon. That's where the regionals are. We got invited, which means not only travel all the way to Utah, so Cedar City, Utah, but another week, well, another full run. And so did that. Coming out of that, so I met Brad Myers through that. He was the Fresno State theater director. I shit you not. I'm fucking getting out of the van after we're all arriving back in Fresno after doing our Irene. We didn't win, but whatever. It's it's an honor to be.
Yeah.
And I think somebody did get a scholarship. One of the people got a scholarship that year. But those are pretty common. They hand out a lot of theater scholarships through Irene. Right? Anyway, I'm getting out of the van. Brad walks over to me. Paul, I'm doing a show called The Diviners. And I was like, okay, I'll try out. And I did, and I got cast. I got a nice supporting role in that, and that was a crazy show too. But by the end of that, man, I was like, I swear to God, if this gets Irene Ryan, and it didn't, thankfully, so. But I mean, so I was never more tired and stretched thin in my life. And I mean, it was probably bad for my relationship. I had nothing for anybody other than the stage and the customers. That's all I could do to keep my life together, right? So my relationship probably suffered pretty heavily during that time. Although, you know, my ex was very supportive of me doing it because she saw how I lit up when I had something creative to do, right? She saw that it was good for me and it nourished me. But man, by the end of that, I was just done, man. Just done. Will you ever go back to stage theater? You know, I would love to. I would love to. I don't know that I will ever see. Here's the problem. I found a job that scratches part of that creative itch. It certainly allows me a creative outlet, right? Which is great. But it's a job that requires my time, a lot of it. And I remember what a huge time commitment those shows were. And I try and see that fitting into my, quite frankly, chaotic anti-schedule as a content person guy. But yes, if I find myself in a place where I think I can segment things out, I would love to do stage work again. I would love to. It really is my passion. It's just not something that's easy to make money doing. You know, I never made $1 doing any of the shows I just talked about. It was all 100% volunteer and self-funded at certain points. You know what I mean? When they took us up to Cedar City, they paid for the hotel room and the transport, and they got us like a meal a day, but we were pretty much on our own for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? So if you wanted breakfast, it's on you. You want cigarettes, it's on you. You want to try and get to a booze store that'll sell you booze before 6 o'clock when everything closes down. That's crazy, by the way. Went and bought a bottle of vodka and a bottle of tequila at a government-run store in Utah. You can't get a glass of wine at a nice restaurant in Utah. You get grape juice. They literally don't even give, in certain, it's not everywhere in Utah, but up in the mountains in Cedar City, it's Mormon town.
Well, when I lived in Indiana, they had just started Sunday sales, but they only went to like a certain time, 7 or something.
It's crazy.
And the grocery store, like, what do? Like, they can't just like shut it down. So like,
right. So there are literally like federal government, U.S. government sanctioned stores that have to be there. It's like the county doesn't want them there. If they had the power to, they'd kick the government store out. But nobody gets a liquor license but that one store because they are they cannot federally, they can't supersede federal law against the prohibition of liquor.
Well, yeah, because they had to do a whole constitutional amendment to undo prohibition.
Yes.
So it's
So
almost like
it's-
a constitutional right to drink in a way.
Right. And so-called dry counties are the result of that, of the, what was that called? The Volstead Act.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a devil's bargain to allow certain counties to be functionally dry, but still be in compliance. So they would really rather you not have liquor anywhere in Cedar City. And you're not allowed, like we were told, basically, like, you guys have to be very careful in this hotel. If you get the cops called on you and they find liquor, they're going to take you guys all to the police station. They may not charge you with anything, but you're going to go in and they're going to book, because they just discourage that around here. So we had to be very hush-hush with our drinking and smoking. Lots of weed, too.
I'm going to go see what that cricket's up to. He's been out in there by his lonesome for a while.
If you want to take in one of this chair, too, do that, baby. So you have something to put your booty on.
Well, the stairs are pretty comfy.
The stairs? Oh, they're carpeted.
Yeah.
Like the booze stores in Canada are government operated. Are they? I don't know. As long as those sody pops don't have caffeine. Yeah, no caffeine in them sodies. Yeah, man, I don't know. So Utah is essentially a teetotaler state. Not the whole state. It's different county to county. So you'll have counties that have only government stores. You'll have counties that have Sunday restrictions. You just have to look up where you're at in Utah. But a lot of Utah is government stores. Finally in your own home, yes. On my own porch. And listen, hold on. Listen to the Dow for a second. You ready? Hear the rain? But what's beneath the rain? The sea. You don't hear anything? I don't know. Might be a headphone user thing. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else can feel the words on your lips. No one else can feel it more. Only you can. You know what, dude? Underrated era of pop, dude. You know what was another good song from that fucking era? You're gonna hate me for this. Bum, bum. I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number. Call me maybe. I'm a Carly Rae Jepsen apologist, okay? Underrated, okay? I went through a pop phase, okay? In the early 2000s, I was like, because I go through this. I was like, let me embrace it. And I went through a pop phase, and you know what I ended up getting out of the pop phase, which I think it was worth delving into, because here's what I pulled out of my, like, let's accept this kind of, like, techno pop shit that is topping the charts right now. I got Lady Gaga, I got Lily Allen, okay? I will defend those two artists to the death, okay? And also Gautier and Kimbra, that song. Dude, tell me that's not a bop. You can hate, but tell me that's not a bop. Now and then I think of when we were together. Got the feeling I'm so happy I could die. Or whatever the fuck. Boom, boom. That's a great song, right? Somebody that I used to know. Gautier, Kimbra. Great era, right? And I'm talking like Lady Gaga doing Bad Romance. Dude, Bad Romance is my. You guys have a favorite Gaga song? Mine is Bad Romance, okay? Bad Romance, but with the video, bro. That is the coolest, craziest fucking video, bro. I love the music video for Bad Romance. Like, Soul Alejandro's a good one, honestly. That's a good cut. No, that era of Gaga, right? I'm not really like a dude that's listening to whatever her modern stuff. I'm not trying to shit. I like her. Paparazzi's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alejandro. Yep. But Bad Romance is just the switch up is what gets me. I love how it goes from I want your hunger, I want your disease, I want your love. You know, it's got that, and then it's love, I want your. So it's got this hard edged thing, and then it's all of a sudden very vulnerable. I want your loving, all your loving romance. You and me could write a bad romance, right? And then it's right back to that. I love it. Okay, you guys are gonna hate me for this one, but look, dude, when you date somebody, you can't help but pull some of their musical preferences, right? And so my ex-girlfriend Ashley got me into, and I still have it on my playlists and shit because I just think it's good pop. She got me into a chick. What is her name? Fuck. Oh my god, dude. Fuck. Well, she got me into a few bands. She got me into Panic at the Disco, which is like I'll die on Brendan Urie Hill, dude. That dude is legitimately one of the straight up most fucking talented musicians, artists working today. And I will fucking die on that hill, dude. Panic, like whatever, that's a project to me. He's the center of that, dude. That Panic at the Disco is Brendan Urie. It's fucking nuts. Dude, one of the coolest concerts I ever went to, dude. I'll tell you guys. I went and saw Panic at the LA Smoothie King Arena, formerly the Superdome in not LA, Louisiana. Sorry, the Smoothie King Arena. I was using LA as in the state, but I just realized that's confusing. The Louisiana Superdome. I saw Panic at the Disco, bro. Okay, so listen. There's a thing about Paul's ego you should know. Live theater, live music will move me to tears way easier than anything in my life, bro. Anything. I'm not a crier. I'm maybe a little more accessibly able to cry than some dudes. I'm not totally locked up, but I'm just not a dude that cries super easy, right? He does this huge, you know how Panic is, bombastic show, right? And all of a sudden, he's sitting at a piano. Spotlight hits him. And he does this slow unfolding solo performance of I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't, which is one of the most beautiful fucking piano singer-songwriter songs ever written, maybe the most beautiful. Almost always makes me cry. So I'm already misting up. The fucking piano lifts off the ground. He flies over the audience And as he's playing the song, it turns into a medley, like a combination of two songs, and it plays into Dying in LA. And nobody knows it now when you're dying in LA. I fucking wept. Dude, I fucking wept, bro. Fuck, man. I, you know what I mean? It's like, holy shit. Watch that dude have a mental breakdown on stage once. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's a fucking rock star. I expect he's got problems. I'm telling you, that fucking concert was wall to wall epic. Yeah, great band. So, I think that's what I was trying to remember. So, I can't. Pop say, oh yeah. I remember the album name. Will that help? Crybaby. She was like a pop singer chick, had the very stereotypical, like, anime kind of aesthetic with the bangs that were blonde and the pigtails that were black. And was definitely not the type of music that I ever would even probably have stumbled on, right? Melanie Martinez. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we got it, guys. We got it. We got it. We got it. Mel, yes. Mel, yes. Yes. Phoebes. We got it. That album, the Crybaby album, I think that's the name of the album. Well, that's one of like when I was saying like my openness to pop, plus my adjacency to somebody who was into that person, right? That pop singer, and I actually listened to it, and I was like, you know what? Some of this is actually really fucking good. So I don't know, dude. There's some really cool beats on that album if you listen to it. But you know, whatever. You like old school pop music? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like really raised on 80s pop, right? I was the super, so like, dude, I'll name off some shit that'll date the fuck out of me, but this is the music of my childhood, right? So we're talking Fleetwood Mac, particularly the Dreams album, Billy Joel. I mean, coming out of the 70s, my parents were both super into disco and shit, so you know, disco band after disco band after disco band. You know, this is all pop music, right? Huey Lewis and the News, Flock of Seagulls. I mean, all of that. Who does that song? You know what? One of my favorite fucking 80s tunes is? It's such a fucking groove. In the western town of Danwall, the East End boys and West End girls. West End girls. Pet Shop Boys. Yep, yep, yep. Dude, I've seen Huey Lewis in the News. Let me count. 5 times in my life. Okay. You know what another underrated 80s pop bop is? In Excess, I Need You Tonight. Dun, dun, dun. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your lips are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. Bow, bow, bow. Your moves. I think he says your lips and your knees if you listen to the song, Mr. Grady. A cursory listen will show that he uses many different adjectives over the course of the song, Mr. Grady. Michael J. Fox was made so famous by BTTF Honda hired him to advertise. Oh yeah. Back to the Future. I was just watching that actually. We watched Back to the Future. I think it was like Christmas Day. We were just chilling and we watched that. I remember one time you said you envisioned a band that knows their shit, and so their grand entrance has them getting shit out of a giant ass. Dude, that was a plan. Okay, so I don't want to give you the whole fucking garage band story, but the band Apple Nasty, that was my first garage band in high school, was Apple Nasty. And you know, when we all graduated high school, that kind of broke up. I started a band with my friend Rodney called Government Fun. And then when I moved back to California after a long time, Apple Nasty kind of got back together, right? And in the initial days of that, I just didn't have the time to give to it or the passion for it anymore. But the band did get back together, just sans me. But in the early days of that, when I was still involved in the project, we talked about, because we wrote this stupid, like, 80s rock anthem called Born from an Ass. And it really just didn't have any lyrics. It was just us repeating the hook, which is, born from an ass. We're all born from an ass. Born from an ass. You're all born from an ass. It's just that, you know what I mean? And so we thought that would be our opening song, right? And we would have a rig where a giant butt would descend, right, from the top of the stage. So imagine this. You're watching, right? It's dark. All of a sudden, a squealing metal riff. In the darkness, right? And then all of a sudden, it's a giant ass in the spotlight coming down from the top of the stage. It drops till there's about like 3 feet from the bottom of the stage, right? The butt cheeks spread. We wriggle out naked and covered in chocolate pudding and do the rest of the show. The ass goes back up. Oh, pure art. Absolute pure art. Yep, we wriggle out and drop onto the stage, naked, dripping in chocolate pudding. And we do the whole show butt naked with only the pudding to obscure our bits. Maybe the ass comes down and just like poops on us different times. You know what I'm talking about. I think you guys get the point. Do I need I elaborate? I think not. So, my little grotto back here. There's quite a bit of elevation, and so there is a house whose porch I can see kind of across the way. It's a ways away from me. But I just saw a dude standing there, and my paranoid stoner mind was, that's my landlord. Yep, there's where my landlord lives, right up there. Lording over my backyard. No. Yep. Yep, hit up a dispensary in town. Yes, yes. Wait, is that for real? No. I was just saying that was my paranoid kind of thought process was, well, there's the landlord. No, I don't actually, to my knowledge, live inside of my landlord. As a point of fact, this house is, I think, corporate owned, if anything. I don't know that for sure, but like, I do know that the whole rental process is 100% like through one of those companies that handles everything, and like, I have no contact with the owner of the house, etc., etc., etc. Plus, it's a smart home too, so it's a paranoiac's dream. Everything is fucking cameraed and motion censored to fucking shit. So, woe betide to any creature that stepped foot into my garden, I guess, because whoopsie daisy, I got a smart home. Like, well, dude, here's what I found out, Phoebes, after kind of like getting here today, moving in minorly. I think that this house was flipped. What I mean by that is everything, I didn't know this when we first did our walkthrough because it's just not what I really look for. I was like, oh, it's got a thing, it's got a thing, it's got a thing. Okay, good. We actually like, we're looking at the kitchen and stuff. I mean, we've been here all day. So, well, not all day, but for most of the day today. And everything's brand new. So it's just like somebody bought this house, gutted it, redid all the floors in that Formica hardwood shit, redid all of this porch out here. Everything in the kitchen is brand new, never been used. Brand new oven, brand new microwave, brand new everything, brand new countertops, and it's just like one thing after the next, brand spanking new in this house. So, and on top of that, the whole smart shit. Paul, isn't all these smart home features just a Trojan horse to steal our private data? Well, yeah, I guess I guess my data's for sale. I don't know what to say. You know, I didn't know that it was a smart home until after I'd signed the contract. So, it's not obtrusive. It's not something that I have to worry about. But I know how to access its features and stuff, and it makes my house pretty fucking secure. I'll tell you that. What kind of stuff does it do? Remote locking and unlocking, remote garage door closing and opening. It's got a camera suite, so I can access that from my phone anywhere in the world. I can create guest codes that expire after a certain time. So let's say TJ and Chelsea come visit me up here. I give them, like, a guest code or whatever to get into my house. And then when they leave, it expires. Yeah, I can control the temperature of the house from anywhere in the world. Yeah, as long as I got my phone, right? So, pretty cool. And the house is what I would say is functionally a private community. It's not gated, but there's no way to get back into it, or no reason to get back into it, because it's off the beaten path. Let's put it that way. It's kind of in the middle of Whoville, so, and it's a twisty, windy, kind of elevated, strange neighborhood. So it's just like, the camera thing that I have is just right, like there's no way to approach my property but from that angle. And so it's kind of ideal in that way. Not that I foresee myself using the camera stuff, but is what it is. Paul, at least you're not going to pay California highway robbery taxes. Here, here. Did you ever grow up with those in-home radio systems that you could talk to people in different rooms? Bro, I'm not that fucking old. My grandma had one of those in her house, but it was broken. I remember playing with it when I was a kid, asking her, and oh no, that doesn't work. It was an intercom, is what they called it. So you could be in the kitchen and go like, hello, turn down that music, or whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, that's kind of an old-timey thing, and really only going to be found in houses that were made in like the 40s and 50s, probably, I would say. Houses that'll also have like an old radiator in them. We have to worry about bears and shit. Yes. And shit. Laundry chutes were dope. Yeah, laundry chutes. We could actually do, dude, they could do a laundry chute in this house. Because the laundry room is on the bottom floor and everything else is up here. Dude, that would be a dope upgrade to this type of place, bro. To this type of place, that would be dope. Intercoms are still dope. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of old school, but cool still. Because you can just kind of like text people now, you know what I mean? Hey, where you at? Thinking about building my house with a laundry chute for my son's loft. Yeah, I mean, if your property like has a basement or whatever, a laundry chute is a super cool idea. Just throw all your crap in there when it's dirty, and then it's right there, right by the washing machine, ready to be sorted and washed. And then some laundry chutes have a fancy thing where you put it in a dumbwaiter, right? When you've got it all folded, you put the basket on it and you go click. And then you go up and there's your laundry. You ain't got to take it up the fucking stairs, bro. Build a panic room. Yeah. What up, Ben? I'm assuming it's Ben. How you doing, homeboy? Well, it's our first night in the house. We went to Walmart today, bought a bed, just like for our guest room, this little table and a couple of chairs, right? So we could, I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna live in a fucking Motel 6 anymore. Got moved in, and then got a text from our moving company that they're delivering tomorrow afternoon. So it was a waste of money to go and buy all that shit. But hey, whatever the fuck. It's cool. Be moved in. But that's why I'm going to build it taller and put a loft in it. But yeah, dude, it's like one of those things. It's like fuck it. You know what? This is going to narrow me down a bit. Let's just say, and I want to speak out of turn here, but I think I've got an invite to appear in person on the Drunken Peasants podcast. And I don't know, we haven't set a date, but I think we're going to make that happen once my move is done. I get all unpacked and everything. So there you go. You want to come out here, D? Come on. I have to find your sweater. It's too cold. Too rainy. Too rainy, drainy, brainy. Too brainy. Ooh. So that'll be cool. Oh. So that kind of like, gives you a rough idea of, Paul's possible geolocation, I guess. So, Minnesota. Yep. Minnesota. I gotta harden the fuck up, is what I'm saying. So Alaska, Phoebes, you nailed it. Getting rid of the Dubois, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I liked it, but it was time. I just missed the beard. So we're going to let it grow back in, and then I'll probably go to a barber or something once I get some length. Have them trim this up, leave the mustache, but trim everything else up to the same length, and then just let it. That's the plan right now. Ugh. How cold is it? I think it's like 46 or something. Huh, D? D likes it. He's not too cold. But that's because we let you get floofy. That's right. We let you fluff up. You're not living in the valley no more. So no more naked butt, okay? We're going to keep you fluffy. We're going to keep you long. The missus likes a little chimney sweeper. The missus likes a little chimney sweeper, she does. Back in reality, your son's on crack. Sorry. The coldest winter I ever spent was the summer in San Francisco. And that's, what is that from? You know how never mind. Never mind. That's just rewinding the conversation. I have this thing where it happens on the show a lot, and I think the guys have just come to kind of like expect it from me because they know that's how my brain works. But I'll get hung up on one fucking thing, and I'll want to keep referencing it like fucking hours later. I get very. TJ once described it in his very TJ way as like, like if you look at it like eating a burger or whatever, like TJ just wants to eat it and be done with it. I want to dissect the burger and eat it, little fucking piece by piece, you know. Like that's how I go after the metaphorical burger of conversation. It's an interesting way of looking at it. I don't know if he used burger or steak. I can't remember what it was, but it was a very TJ analogy. Hold up one somebody said. I wanted to leave you guys out here with the rain, but I realized I instinctively and reflexively muted you as well because I was walking away from you. Sorry. I went in to go get some gloves for my cold hands.
We were discussing.
And then I ended up walking around the house with Amelia going like, we're going to put this here and put that here and put this here. We're nesting. I didn't even know we were, like, it's just, anyway. Woosah.
We just have an awkwardly shaped living room, that's all.
Yeah.
It's cute, but there's a big old fireplace. It's awkward.
I think if we set it up the way that we figured, it'll be perfect.
But we just don't have everything to set it up that great way yet.
No. We'll have to order it. And that'll be down the road. But it'll be perfect when we get it set up that way. And then,
Cricket's loving that fireplace. He's sniffing it.
oh yeah. I've got to make sure he doesn't get his little butt off in there,
Yeah.
get all ashy, or try and crawl up that chimney, for God's sakes.
Remember he got ashy at that other house that we were in? One time, he crawled in there.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he's going up no chimney, but the flue is closed anyway. Got to make sure I figure out how to do that before we do any fires, if we do any fires in that. I just don't know. They wouldn't have it in here if it wasn't capable of doing it.
I saw smoke out of the neighbor's chimney.
Yeah. So, I'm going to keep my fucking voice down because we have to talk about something. As I was walking around the house, I looked out my front window at my neighbor, who's going to be right behind me. And their house is beautiful. It's got little Christmas decorations still up and everything. And there's an American flag and a big, fat Trump Take America Back flag. A fat one, dude. Flying high and proud. So, I'm thinking Operation Introduce Ourselves. So what I'm proposing, once we get settled, is that we bake some nice cookies or something. And we go, hey, new year, we kind of like to do this as a neighborly thing. Some cookies.
Some manor bread.
Huh?
Some manor bread or something.
Oh, yeah. Just some crowd pleasing, you know what I mean? Easy. Buys you a ton of goodwill. Because it shows that you're not here to cause trouble, you're amenable. You need a flag of your own. I'm not opposed. I know what camouflage is, okay? I know how it's used in the wild for animals to move around in environs where, it might be unsafe for them to be fully seen. You feel me? This is what we do. Operation Outreach. Operation Friendly Handshake. Operation Normal Couple. Saying hello. Introducing ourselves. Howdy, hi there, neighbor. We gotta do it. Okay, so Mao said the gorilla must move around amongst the people as a fish swims in the sea. True.
I was thinking this down in your office. So you have your own coffee maker.
That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna have the fridge down in the garage.
Yeah.
So
And
I
the
could
microwave, the extra
my
microwave.
extra microwave. Could set myself up a little fucking
Station.
Man cave.
You got a 2-car garage, so half the garage could be kind of that stuff.
What?
Like the fridge and the microwave. We could put in one of those shelves in the garage, maybe.
Maybe. We'll see. I want to see how Paul plays normal.
You're good at playing normal.
Bro, I worked at Starbucks for 8 years. I worked for a school district in elementary and middle schools. Okay? I normal real well.
You're not that alternative. You have stretched ears. That's about it. And long hair. That's it. Get my other beer can out here.
What was the most basic white girl Starbucks drink? Can I get a caramel frappuccino with extra caramel? Can you drizzle the caramel on the inside of the cup? Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Can I get a grande caramel frappuccino with extra caramel? And can you drizzle caramel on the inside of that cup too? And also drizzle mocha on the inside of that? Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Can I get 2 tall caramel frappuccinos with extra caramel on top and a drizzle on the cup, please? Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Can I get 4 more venti caramel frappuccinos with extra caramel drizzled around the cup? So you want a total of, we're talking 9 caramel frappuccino? Yes. 2 venti. Yeah, I got it, ma'am. Anything else? Can I get 3 more grande caramel frappuccinos? Yes. That's 11 frappuccinos. Anything else, ma'am? You want them the same way? Yes. Extra caramel. Yes, yes. Extra. There you go.
I'm sure it's changed.
Yeah,
Past.
probably. Now I think it's like, can I get 3 grande pumpkin spice lattes, please, with extra whipped cream?
Or those weird smoothie drinks they have now.
Oh, yeah. I don't even want to think about it. I left that world comfortably behind me. But its scar still remains upon me. Sorry.
Let me get the other beer can out here.
Okay, yeah. We'll have an ashtray tomorrow for sure. Well, maybe not for sure, knowing this fucking moving company, but we'll see. We'll see what the fuck happens. It's going down. Going down the hold. I got fucking that beer. Going down the hole. Going down the hole. Alright, we're good. We sussed it out, baby. We sussed it out. It's all about matcha now. Oh, God. You drink beer a lot? No. Dude, I got a story about beer. And you know what, dude? In the spirit of me being a self-deprecating and human individual, I will tell you the story, okay? We got here today. We went to Walmart. We bought all the little sundries we needed to spend the night here without our stuff, at least, or spend a week here if we needed to. Got it. Got it all moved in, got it all unpacked, came out here. We're having a smoke on our porch and just enjoying kind of like the 360, you know?
And they're like, we don't have an ashtray.
I'm like, we don't have an ashtray. And a couple of nights before that, for whatever reason, me and Amelia were talking about shotgunning a beer. Well, we happen to have some fucking cans of Modelo, right? I didn't sleep the night before. I'm running on caffeine and pills.
You just lifted a bunch of heavy shit up the
Right.
stairs.
And I go inside and I'm like, I'm 20. I can shotgun a beer. Cut it open. Here's to you and here's to me. Crack it. Beautiful shotgun. Straight down. My stomach was like, nah, homie. Not today. I fucking just immediately
There was no help in it.
No, there
no
wasn't.
amount of ginger could have stopped.
No, it wasn't stopping. My stomach was like, nah, you don't do that anymore. And it'd probably, like, I sat down, it'd probably been easily 25 years since I shotgunned a fucking beer like a college idiot. Yeah, dude, what goes down must come up, dude. Yeah. That was crazy fucking retarded nonsense.
And it was
but-
just to have an ashtray.
Yeah, and it was literally just so I could empty out a can real quick so we had an ashtray to use. Because I
Could
didn't
have
want
dumped
to...
it down the sink or put it in a cup.
Or chugged it the normal way, it probably would have been fine. But, like, shotgunning, it just, like, it uses air pressure to push the beer down your throat. So it pushed the beer and a giant bunch of air down my throat. And I was already running on fumes. And my stomach was just like, no, you're not going to give me Modelo right now, bro. Here you go.
You can show them the evidence.
Yep.
Oh, because this can still has...
Oh, yeah. Here's the evidence. I'm not bullshitting you. Okay? Let's be frank, okay? Well, I'll be Paul, you be Frank. I'm drinking a Modelo as we speak.
It's going to be a while before you want Modelo again.
It's going to be a while before I want beer again. Of any kind or sort.
Do you have some twisted tea next time or something?
Yeah, I need a pussy drink. I need you to figure out how to make a Midori sour. And just keep me in those and I'll be fine.
We got that cocktail shaker now.
That is true. That's what you do need a cocktail shaker for a good Midori sour. I have a checkered past with the Midori sour, but you know what? I can't deny that it's my favorite fruity drink. And one of my favorite things to just sit and sip if I'm just trying to get slow drunk. That's the one. I'm gonna practice.
Wanna go down again, Dee?
Oh, hey there. Sorry to interrupt y'all at dinner time. We're your new neighbors. Thought we'd bring you some cookies. Introduce ourselves. Turn on a little bit of the old fucking Arkansas accent. Just let it come. Just pretend my mom's off in there.
We live in Louisiana. That's a clutch one.
Yeah. That's true. And we've moved around a lot. I was born and raised in California. Don't shoot me. Lived in Texas. Lived in Louisiana for a time. I've actually been up this way before. Loved it. Thought it was beautiful. Wanted the peace and quiet. In the vein of that, I wanted to reach out to you. You're my closest neighbor. Wanted to say hello. Boom. That's how it's gonna work. That's what we're gonna do. Got to do that. Born and raised in California, don't shoot me. I'm gonna do that. I swear to God, I'll do it. That's gonna be the icebreaker right there.
I did escape in California.
I'll tell you what, they bled us dry down there. And you know, as a self-employed guy who runs his own business, you know, I couldn't do it anymore. So here we are, refugees, I guess. Not too loud. They may be listening. No, it's actually the truth, though. There's no lie detected in any of that at all. Right? That's 100% the truth. So we'll just.
You want me to get another pack, baby?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Let me chase this break.
Ski daddling. I'll probably wrap this up here in a minute. Hey there, California. Had a new neighbor introduce herself to me like that as a kid. She then called the cops on my dog so often for barking that my parents got rid of my dog. Jesus. Yeah, Wu Wei. Exactly. Exactly, my friend.
Get myself a burr too.
Oh. Noise ordinance. Yeah, fuck that. Well, I'm not a party guy, so I ain't gonna have to worry about that with me.
I mean, if we survived in that other neighborhood, I think we can survive in this one just fine.
I get the feeling that there's like a little bit of difference. Little bit of difference. I think we moved. I think we moved from a neighborhood that was like mostly renters with a couple of owners to a neighborhood that's mostly owners and a couple of renters. And that's another good reason to like break the ice because there's a lot of like suspiciousness about renters. I understand it. It's always kind of like a nightmare when somebody moves in. You want to know that they're reasonable people at the very least, and you want to know their names. So it makes sense. So I think it's a smart thing to do in a neighborhood like this. I probably wouldn't do it in that neighborhood back in Cali because there would be no point. But you saw, I mean, we made contact with our neighbors through natural means eventually. And it's good to be chill. But I ain't Mr. Sociable, so.
Oh, there's another hook right there.
Neat. Well, we'll hang up multiple bird feeders then.
Maybe we'll make that one like a
Hummingbird
one because it's a little smaller than that other hook.
Yeah. I like that. Ooh. I made my lips numb.
That tree is gonna grow into this one of these days.
Maybe. A mushroom trip in this backyard is gonna be fucking wild. These trees are gonna be awesome. This rain, this is very chill. Maybe like in the summer.
After we're settled, for sure. Not immediately after.
No, after like I'm not saying now. I'm saying in the summer or the spring or whatever the fuck. Whenever we fucking feel like it. How about that? 89 watching, 81 likes. Is this what the kids called ratioed? Yeah, dude, look at that. It's almost 100% ratio. I have been streaming for a couple hours though, a few hours. It's been a while since I've been able to do one of these comfortably, so it's nice to do it. Yeah, cool, dude. Thanks for my wisdoms. Ooh. Damn, I just remember when I was a preteen figuring out religion is a load of dookie. The Tao was one of the first alternative belief systems I turned to. I wasn't really looking for an alternative. That's the thing, is like, I didn't like discover the Tao and start to consider it as an alternative to some other religious belief or anything.
Was it that mushroom trip that started it?
Kicked it into fucking gear. Yeah, I mean, that was like a huge, you know what I mean? I mean, we had very different trips, but the way I was on a higher dose, and so like things can be very introspective and like extroversely fascinating. Favorite Tarantino film? Dude, you're gonna crucify me, bro, but I have to say what it is. Hateful Eight. Something about that movie, bro.
Especially the extended version.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the extended version if you didn't like the first version.
Yeah. That's true. I'm still trying to figure my spiritual thoughts. I find the idea of nature evolving and psychedelics to be big parts of them so far. Cool. Everybody's got their own thing, man. But that's the thing, kind of with psychedelics, is you introduce somebody to them, but you can't tell them like, here's what you're gonna experience.
Yeah, you weren't even close with me, really.
We're closer than you think. Just we were having different kind of focal points.
No, I meant like how you described it wasn't even close.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I always give that caveat, because it's just like, this is my experience. My experience is unique. stoned ape theory. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll lend it much credence, but it's a fun idea. Try mushroom tea. It's like eating them, but way more spiritually powerful. Get ready to puke 7 G's is the heroic dose. No, thank you. Yeah. I've done a 5-gram mushroom dose one time in my life, and it was a heavy trip. I did it kind of like accidentally. I'd gotten some mushrooms that were prepared for tea, but I decided, fuck a tea. I'm just gonna fucking mix up all of the powdered mushrooms and drink that shit. And I did about a 5-gram hit right down the gullet with a glass of water, bro. And I tripped balls. That mushroom trip was really the very beginning of me wanting to explore Buddhism, Taoism, Eastern philosophy, that sort of thing. Because that mushroom trip ended with me laying down in my bed and listening to Zen koans. And I tripped fucking balls.
We were listening to those poems with that other trip we had in the house, you remember?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh.
That was a heroic 5-gram mushroom dose out of nowhere.
Nice.
I mean, it was like way more than I thought it, because I just never really worked with like crushed up, ground up mushrooms. And so my estimation of fucking, because, you know, whatever. I'm a throw a pinch in, throw a dash in, throw a scoop in kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, you couldn't visualize how many caps was in that.
That was a 5-gram mushroom hit. And I realized it after, but man, I'm telling you, like, from your perspective, it was probably like, didn't look all that pleasant, but for me, it was like fucking epic. It was just what I needed at that time, right? That's why I did it. Felt like I needed that reset. It had been a long time since I tripped. Like, genuinely had a good ass trip. Ugh, I can't smoke no more. Fuck that shit. Bleh. 4 grams makes me nonverbal. I was pretty close to. I mean, I wouldn't say I was nonverbal, but I was in my own fucking world.
You were like, helpless.
Helpless, yeah. I needed to be safe and in a place that I was familiar with, and you know, that's why I tripped at home. I was still and calm, and it was a very inward trip, because externally I was functionally worthless. It was not a heavy visual trip, it was a closed eye visual trip. Very fractal. You know, like kaleidoscopic almost, when my eyes are closed. Bursts of color and light. And as I'm listening to these Zen koans, it wasn't like I was seeing them, but the light would shift. I laid there for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, kind of drifted in and out of consciousness. And then when I started to come up out of like the heavy bottom of the trip, or top of the trip, I guess, peak, I walked outside and it was like I was reborn. That backyard never looked so beautiful to me. It was like the first time I noticed those pink blossoms, the birds, the sky, blue and white with the clouds and all that. And it was just like, I think it was really that put me over the fucking edge, man. Because that was there for me after that trip, you know? It never stopped being beautiful to me. Definitely no, that comes with no recommendation, by the way. Don't do as I do. your experience may vary, etc. But that was definitely an experience. Not something I would do again, probably. Unless under the right circumstances, I guess. It's not something that I'm like scared of doing. It wasn't a scary thing for me. Or it was, I guess, for a moment or two. But my experience kind of like allowed me to harness it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll see you next time. Bye. Can I press it? Thank you. Can I hit it?